Today we've got a crazy story of an entitled friend who's upset because OP's brother refuses to date her. We'll get into that in a bit, but first, I got called creepy for being accommodating. This is a weird one and one of the strangest situations I've ever been in. Note, this happened just 12 hours ago, so it's all confusion still for everyone involved. I recently moved to a new place and invited some of my friends over for a housewarming party. We haven't seen each other all together for almost a year, so this was a big deal. This particular evening, we were expecting a huge rainstorm and so it was going to be messy. One of my friends wanted to bring her classmates and she just moved to the country and doesn't know anyone, and sure, the more the merrier. The storm hit pretty hard, and with most of my friends already at my place, the one friend and her tag-along finally arrived. I should preface that the two of them are girls. Anyways, I could see they were completely drenched and shivering, so I offered them my shower to warm up and put their clothes in my dryer. They accepted it, but the tag-along friend gave me this weird look and she thought I didn't notice, but I noticed but didn't care. I gave them both a set of dry clothes they could borrow that my dad's girlfriend left behind on accident. Throughout the night, she made slight glances of disgust and avoiding me like the plague. She kept being reminded that she's a guest and she's acting rude, and she just scoffs. When I offered her a drink, she refused but helped herself to my fridge without permission. When she went to the bathroom, she loudly screamed that it's occupied and not to have anyone come in. Anyways, we were all just chilling and playing cards, and out of the blue, the tag-along made this backhanded comment, calling me a pervert and not to touch her. I reached for a card, and I kid you not, she slapped my hand away. The tag-along said, "Don't touch the cards, you perv. Don't think you can just touch me because you were nice." Friend 2 said, "What the heck is your problem? Why would you call him that?" The tag-along replied, "Oh, please, you can't see it? He brought all of us here to hook up." "Well, I'm not going to let him." Friend 1 replied, "That would not be physically possible for him." The tag-along replied, "Whatever." I chimed in, "I think you're forgetting that you're in my house, and I'm sorry if I gave the wrong impression, but..." Tag-along cuts me off, saying, "And you don't seem to know that no means no. I know your game, you freaking creep. You just somehow have girl clothing on hand so you can see through our clothes." Note, I gave them jogger pants and a sweatshirt and onesie. Friend 2 replied, "Why are you behaving like this? He's always accommodating to us. And he's not perverted, he's gay anyways." Tag-along replied, "I'm sure that's what he told you, but he's just a typical pervert trying to get in your pants." Friend 1 and friend 2 said, "Why are you acting this way? What the heck is wrong with you?" Tag-along replied, "Hey, I am the victim here. He's been eyeballing me all night and it's creepy. He should leave." Friend 3 says, "Leave where? This is his house." The tag-along replies, "I cannot take this. You're siding with a pervert. I'm going for a smoke." Friend 2 and tag-along went to my balcony and I heard a shouting match. It was not pretty. Tag-along then came back at me and grabbed my drink and splashed it in my face. Soon after that, it was a whole screaming match with one another, and tag-along kept insisting on my perverted tendency. I was like, was she a victim or something? And she screamed her head off and almost started throwing hands at me when two of my friends grabbed her and kept her back. She made more comments that I'm not comfortable writing, but it was towards my race that she got severely wrong of and accused me of watching her in the shower. In the end, she trashed my dining table, grabbed her jacket from the dryer, not fully dry because it was still dripping, and stormed out of my home, still wearing my borrowed clothes. Tag-along never apologized after the 12 hours or made a peep to me or anyone in our group, but friend 2 said she will talk when she calms down. I genuinely don't know the issue. I'm always helpful as much as I can, and I didn't want them to suffer, especially with winter coming. I will update if there is any. I just needed to vent cause genuinely confused by the whole situation. Quick edit, many have asked why did I not react in any way than I should? To be honest, I just really didn't want to be more involved than I needed to. Yes, she behaved erratically in my own home, and for that I should have said something. Initially, I really thought that maybe she had a bad day or something and is just taking out her frustration on me and others. Besides, anyways, the first person to yell loses, and she lost the moment she entered my door, and I knew there was no point in arguing with her given her mental state. I just let her rant the way she ranted and kept it like that until someone else said something and finished the situation quicker than I did. Also, no update yet, but I have heard your messages and will make an update as soon as there is one. Another quick edit. Tagalong was made aware of my sexuality as well as my relationship status, not to mention even shown pictures of me and my partner. So she had a better understanding of who I was and am like. She must have thought something otherwise, but I don't know. The whole thing confused me. So, I almost wonder if this is like a personal problem kind of thing, just kind of projecting out. I mean, from the get-go, if the whole thing made her uncomfortable, why would she follow through with it? Like, does she feel like this is some kind of weird, it's always sunny because of the implication kind of thing? Does she think this whole friend group here is like some weird cult thing that's trying to like condition the next member? Well, OP did go on to post an update, but also, hi, I'm Steven, and if you enjoy crazy stories of entitled people, why not hit those like and subscribe buttons down below? OP posted, update to I got called creepy for being accommodating. Oh my god, this situation is so much weirder and I don't know whether to laugh or cry. So, friend 2 had a conversation with Tagalong earlier this evening about the events of the other night, and her explanation was absolutely absurd. Tagalong started making a claim that I was trying to flirt with her all night. Yes, you heard that right. She actually thought of that. Apparently, she made this assumption that all gay guys are overly attractive and overly femme and stuff like that, which is not me at all. My boyfriend, yes, and he is very straight looking, but more femme than I am. Tagalong was under the assumption that I was bisexual rather than gay and tried to make clearly bad advancements towards me. Her behavior with rejecting me and giving me attitude was not because she hated me, but rather that the more she rejected me on her so-called advances would make me want her more. Honestly, not only did I not notice any of that, but the whole thing made it even more and more weirder. When she realized I never cared for her advances, she went offense and started accusing me of all kinds of things. Most notably about the fact that I don't look gay. Yeah, I'm sorry I don't walk around with my pride flag around my neck. That ain't me. She made other notes about my boyfriend being more attractive than me and overall was saying insulting things. She actually also accused the fact that my boyfriend may not even be real and is AI, despite friend 2 revealing that not only have they met in person, but she was the one that took the photos and videos of me and my boyfriend. So her AI claim was easily disproved, but she still ranted on. Friend 2 told her that her behavior was obviously unacceptable, and Tagalong needed to apologize immediately but also return my clothes back to me. Unfortunately, however, Tagalong was so ticked off that she threw them away to get rid of the pervert stench as soon as she got back to her flat. I don't know what that means, but she's crazy, so let's keep it at that. In the end, the whole thing was a complete crap show. As for an apology, she said I can apologize to her butt since I like it in the butt. Friend 2 profusely apologized to me and told me she will not be invited to any functions again and not even invite Tagalong to her outings if this is the way she behaves. The way she behaved like that indoors, I cannot imagine how she behaves outside instead. I told her she didn't need to apologize and that it was Tagalong that needed to, but yes, I appreciated the fact that this was the first and last time I would ever have to encounter Tagalong. What a psycho. So in the end, if I'm following this right, was this almost kind of a case of like that middle school nonsense you hear of if somebody likes you, they're actually kind of picking on you or bullying you? Like a horrendously, viciously outlashed attack? Or was she instead just like going weirdly full conspiracy mode and trying to somehow prove that OP couldn't possibly be gay? Either way, not somebody I would want around in my circle either. Alternative Beyond 59 commented on the post, Tagalong is obviously one deeply disturbed individual. I'm glad your friend has seen this now and knows to keep her distance. Sorry about your dad's girlfriend's clothes though. Hopefully she'll understand. Our next story is, entitled customer demands my mom give her free food after mom donated food to a woman's shelter and soup kitchen. This happened back in 2018, and this is not my story but rather that of my mom. She only told us about this a few days ago at my dad's birthday party, so thought maybe I should share it. Okay, so my family and I are immigrants from Poland. We moved here in 2006 after my dad received a job offer due to his career as a chemical engineer. My mom previously worked as a model, as well as having done some limited acting work, starring in a few TV shows as a minor character and commercials in Poland, Germany, and the Netherlands, back when we lived in Europe. However, when we moved here, she decided she didn't want to continue her modeling or acting work here. Hence, she chose to study to become a baker. My dad still works for the same firm that sponsored him, and my mom now works as a manager at a bakery. Anyway, so the bakery my mom works at does this charity thing where they donate cupcakes, cookies, or brownies to a local soup kitchen and women's shelter. They do this every Saturday, I think. One evening in 2018, my mom was working the cash register. This woman, who I'll call Jane from the women's shelter, arrived to pick up the brownies. My mom handed Jane the boxes of brownies, and she left. Note that I don't actually know Jane's name, as mom never actually mentioned her name. However, I just find it easier to refer people by name, hence I chose to just call her Jane. As Jane left, the woman behind her, who I'll call Karen, then came up to the counter, pointed at Jane as she was in the parking lot, and angrily asked, "Did you just give free food to that black woman?" My mom explained to her that the bakery's owner has an arrangement with a nearby soup kitchen and women's shelter to give them free goods, as well as this having been something that was arranged by the owner years ago. Karen then said something along the lines of, "Well, in that case, give me a box of brownies as well." My mom then packed a box of 12 brownies, but when she told Karen the price, Karen was apparently offended that she was being charged. Karen then asked why she has to pay when others get special treatment. My mom then explained to Karen again that what they do for the soup kitchen and women's shelter is not special treatment, but rather charity. Karen then said something along the lines of, "So you give out free food to lazy people who are already probably on food stamps, but not hardworking people like me?" Followed by accusing my mom of being a self-hating racist by giving preferential treatment to black people and immigrants. Karen then apparently started attacking my mom for her accent, accusing her of giving preferential treatment to other immigrants, and then threatening to call immigration on my mom if she doesn't give her free brownies as well. My mom then calmly told Karen, "If you want free food, there's a soup kitchen nearby, just north of Sherman Park." Karen, offended by this, then said things along the lines of, "Do you think you're better than me, and do you think I'm poor or something?" My mom responded by saying, "Well, since you're demanding free food, yes, probably." This got Karen angrier and shouting at her. Additionally, anticipating what Karen was going to say next, my mom then mentioned to Karen that she, my mom, is the acting manager of the store, followed by asking Karen to leave. Karen then threatened to call immigration again on my mom, to which mom just responded by saying, "If you want, we can just call 911 right now and they can maybe resolve this matter for us themselves," as well as mom pointing to the security cameras in the shop. Probably realizing this wasn't getting her anywhere, Karen just stormed off. According to my mom, this is not the only time she's had to deal with a racist or rude customer, or both, but definitely one of the most entitled ones she's ever dealt with. You could already see this one quickly shaping up to be an absolute dumpster car crash fire the second that Karen said, "Did you just give that black lady free food?" I mean, just the fact that she even had to mention it. It's like that Dale from The Walking Dead meme, "I know what kind of man you are." Side note, love The Walking Dead, by the way. I love that memes still pop up like that. El Guapo 1996 commented, "The only proper response to the Karen to her question is, the nature of anyone's order or how I choose to conduct business with them is nobody's business but theirs. Then take the Karen's order and add sales tax and 50% jerk tax to be donated to the shelter." Our next story is, "Can you give me a ride?" I live and work in a bougie tourist town in the USA. One of my jobs is private driving, mainly taking people around in an Escalade to wineries and fancy restaurants. The car is my boss's, it's rented out by the hour. You get the idea. Anyways, the other night, I was dropping a mother and daughter off at their hotel around 11:30 p.m. The customers I drove were absolutely lovely people. I'd been driving them since 9:30 that morning and had a very nice time taking them around the area. I asked if there was anything else they needed, said goodnight, and made sure they were inside the building before getting back into the car. As I'm buckling my seatbelt, I realize that someone is staring at me from outside the car. I make the unfortunate mistake of looking up and make eye contact with this well-dressed lady standing with a group of other people in formal wear, probably in her 30s, through the passenger window. I do the customer service smile and nod, if you know, and then refocus my attention to getting the car started and getting the heck home. Suddenly, there is banging on my passenger side window. I look back over and this lady is smacking the window open-handed like a toddler. I can only assume that she's an inebriated wedding guest, as there's a wedding at the resort that evening. I roll the window down mostly to get her to stop, and partially because I was startled and wondering what the heck was going on. Me, passive-aggressive customer service voice, "Hi, do you need something?" The lady says, "Can you give me a ride?" Mind you, this is a 4-star resort, very posh in a very pricey tourist town. There are at least 2 bell people about 10 feet away, not to mention the front desk staff inside. She could have easily procured help with securing transportation, whether it be Uber or a taxi or a private driver. The service I'm hired for is always scheduled at least a week in advance. It's a small high-end company and is definitely not a ride service. The vehicle I drive is not marked, besides legal licensing numbers, so my brief interaction with my passengers was the only reason she had any idea I was hired to drive. I tell her, "I'm so sorry, but I'm a private driver and I'm not authorized to allow unscheduled passengers in the vehicle. I'm sure the hotel staff would be more than happy to help you arrange transportation." The lady scowls and looks taken aback. "That's stupid. Whatever." She turned back to her friend, and as I was rolling up the window, I heard this lady mocking me to her friend. "I'm a private driver, I can't take you." I just rolled my eyes and drove away. The window was up, and I know better than to engage with stupid, especially when combined with intoxication. But still, I could have been a guest at the hotel dropping the rest of the group off. I could have raised a big stink about it. Heck, I could have been ill with gun fever and escalated everything. Obviously, I didn't because she didn't actually harm the car, and honestly, I was tired and just wanted to get home after a long day. But still, the entitlement of it all. Am I out of pocket for saying that I thought OP was gonna be like propositioned? Like, "Come on, if you take me somewhere, I'll do something for you, maybe, probably." Like, ma'am, 2 things. 1, I'm on the job, and 2, why would I ever want to do that with you? Bella Squared commented, "When the world revolves around you and you're plastered, I guess every car is possible transportation. One day it'll be the wrong car." Our next story is, my mom keeps taking my shoes and clothes without asking, and I just realized a pair of my shoes are gone. Am I wrong for finally setting a boundary? I'm in my mid-20s and my mom, late 40s, has always had a habit of taking my clothes, purses, and shoes without asking. Not borrowing, actually going into my closet and helping herself. Whenever I say it bothers me, she calls me stingy, bougie, or acts like I'm being dramatic. For context, we're black, so streetwear at any age is normal, but at some point, you either buy your own or let it go. Also, she absolutely buys herself things, mostly TikTok shop stuff. So it doesn't feel like a money issue, it feels more like entitlement, poor money management, and the mindset of what's yours is mine because I'm your mom. I don't borrow her things at all. We don't have the same taste, and I haven't been in her closet for anything besides an emergency since high school. She also doesn't take care of my stuff when she uses it. Examples, she borrowed a brand new white purse and returned it with permanent ink marks. She wore down a pair of Jordans I got for a birthday. And speaking of that pair, she kept taking them so much that I eventually just let her have them because I was over it and they were worn down anyway. Now to the current issue, I only own 2 pairs of sneakers total. I'm not a sneaker girl at all, so the pairs I do have matter to me, and I immediately notice when something's missing. Tonight, I saw an empty space in my closet and realized my Jordan 1s, the very first pair I ever bought myself with my first real job, are gone. They're sentimental and I barely wear them, so there's no way I misplaced them. Given her history, she's the obvious culprit. I'm planning to text her tomorrow, ask if she has them, get both pairs back, and tell her I don't want to share clothes or shoes anymore at all. I'll even go as far as to say if I might have anything of yours, let me know so I can give it back to you. Knowing I don't have anything of hers, I just think this is so ridiculous. Like, I don't have any little sisters or sisters at all for that matter, so you would think I wouldn't have to deal with this. I already know she'll laugh it off, shrug it off, or call me stingy again, but I'm honestly tired of feeling guilty for wanting my own belongings respected. Am I wrong for finally setting this boundary with my mom? Has anyone dealt with a parent who treats your things like community property, even when you're an adult? I think it's at the point where OP either invests in like some kind of actual safe or something, or maybe goes vindictive. If they keep taking and ruining your things, maybe you gotta do the same thing to the stuff they cherish. You gotta find some way for it to actually register for her. What else could you do in this situation? I mean, I'm imagining just moving out and getting your own space. Not exactly an easy or capable thing to do for a lot of people. ProudFee1542 commented, "Put a lock on your closet." Our next story is, friend is mad my brother won't date her. My sister has this friend named Liza, both 26. Liza has always had a crush on our brother Philip. Philip is 33 and has no kids. Liza has 3 kids by 2 different men. So my sister, Liza, and I were doing some early Christmas shopping. I was going down the list of what I was planning on getting everyone. When Philip came up, Liza said I should get him coal. I asked why. She tells me that she's been dropping hints to Philip that they should spend time together during upcoming holidays. Philip wasn't picking up her hints, so Liza flat out asked him to be with her during Thanksgiving and Christmas. Like, get to know her and her kids and family during the holidays? Philip told her no, he usually spends time out of the country anyways. So I asked Liza if she thinks Philip should get coal because he rejected her, and she says, honestly, I kinda always thought Philip was gay, but now I got other suspicions. I looked at my sister in the rearview mirror like, you not gonna check your friend? So my sister asks, what suspicions? Liza said, don't play dumb, y'all. If an adult man doesn't like adult women, there's only 2 other options. I saw my sister wasn't going to say anything to her, so I did. I asked her, so because my brother doesn't want to be with you, he's either gay or a predator? She said, it's not even that he doesn't want to be with me, he won't even give it a chance. That's weird and not fair. He won't give us a chance because I have kids? So I'm like, yeah. If Philip dated you, then he'd become an immediate dad, like day one. That's crazy responsibility for anyone. Then Liza cuts me off and is like, Philip is a 33-year-old man and needs some dang responsibility. She was yelling, so I yelled back, his responsibility is not gonna be your dang kids. Then my sister finally speaks up just to tell us to calm down, and I was getting taken home. I get home and was telling my mom and Philip about it. We had a laugh. It's just crazy that she's upset my brother won't date her. She tries to slander his name, calling him a possible predator or a gay man because he has no interest in her. Edit, I keep getting asked why I hang with Liza. Liza is my sister's friend. My sister's going through mental health and addiction issues. My sister's not ready for help. We can't force her to do anything, so we just keep her close to make sure she's safe. She's family. Liza is a friend that comes in and out of my sister's life. When she's out, my sister's fine and works to better herself. When she's in, my sister finds herself in chaos and trouble. I also got asked about my brother's feelings towards the predator comment. He literally doesn't care. He's got a job in another country and will be out of the USA by February. You could slap him right now and you wouldn't ruin his stay. Please stop asking why I didn't drive myself. Cars are expensive and I'm poor. Someone pointed out a Predator Phil joke. I didn't even catch it. My brother's name is actually Philip. Yeah, I mean, what a catch, right? I could not find any reason as to why OP's brother wouldn't possibly want to date this woman. Hasn't there been a whole meme going around of that like Ice Cube movie clip where they're walking up to an attractive woman and then 2 kids come running down the street to them and he has like a disgusted face and walks away? Now, in no way am I saying single mothers don't deserve love. I'm just saying a lot of guys, and by extension, clearly Philip, are not looking for that kind of thing. Holly Jazzy commented, I can see why Philip doesn't want to date her. Bonmore replied, can expand on that. We can see why she's single. Our next story is, guy I gave a fake number to thinks he's entitled to be in my life. It wasn't exactly a fake number, it was a doofus in my DMs who kept acting out a crush like a little mean boy in the playground. So he wouldn't stop pulling hair and this is the kind of stuff he was saying to me. Abuse isn't real because women like it when men hit them, or they wouldn't have trouble getting out of abusive relationships where men hit them when they try to leave. R-word isn't real because women like when men R-word them so they can see how much they want them, or they wouldn't have trouble leaving a man who hurts them when they try to leave. Women get some kind of intimate enjoyment out of violent criminals threatening them, or they wouldn't report it out of fear for their physical safety. So at that point, I'm very clear I'm in danger, and I basically told the guy some fake line about I'd talk to him if he stopped. He just said he wants to R-word and hit me and doesn't see anything wrong with that. The freak? I'm not talking to him. I had to take out a restraining order because he wouldn't stop threatening and hurting me because he thinks women are abusive when they lie for their own physical safety. He's the victim because they weren't honest with him. Women risk their safety for Chad all the time, so they should do it for him, after he said he would do all that stuff to them. He's the most falsely entitled, delusional jerk I've ever met. Freak your fee-fees about my honesty. You said you wanted to freaking hit me and showed up at my home. No, women aren't being abusive, you slob, for not telling you the truth at that point. You seem like you want to end people and they want to live, not collect your delusional idea of good person points. Women don't owe violent losers like that guy any shred of truth if they even think their physical safety is threatened. My dad is buying arms at this point to keep this delulu criminal away from us because he thinks being the honesties with him is more important than a woman being safe and or alive. So exactly what he's accused of, trying to hurt women because his fee-fees are upset. If OP has blatant DMs from this guy that is saying exactly that, why did OP stop at a restraining order? Shouldn't this qualify for some kind of actual threatening charge? And especially with a guy who's saying that, I feel like the cops should take a little look around and see what exactly is going on in that guy's personal life. Kid Scribbles commented, "This isn't a red flag, this is the whole dang flag factory on fire. You did the right thing getting a restraining order." Our next story is, she wanted what she wanted. Hi y'all, I'm back with another story from my time working at a very popular theme park in Florida, a magical rat planet of sorts. This situation happened when I worked in quick service food at a resort. The resort I worked and trained at had a lot of food bays. One bay called Soup and Sandwich, SS, sold breakfast. They sold custom omelets, grits, scrambled eggs, hash browns, bacon, and sausage. At exactly 10:45 a.m., we shut down and started a very quick switchover for lunch. This had to be very fast. We needed to label and put away viable unused food, dispose of and record food waste, clean the area thoroughly, and place lunch items under the heat lamp. All of this had to happen in 15 minutes for the 11 a.m. lunch rush. As I and the grumpy but nice to me grill cook D were switching over, a woman sauntered over and asked for a custom omelet. Keep in mind, everything was packed up and the menu had already automatically switched off. I informed her that breakfast was over, but she could wait for a few minutes until lunch and there would be a lot of good food. She said no, she wanted an omelet. She admitted that she slept in and knew that the breakfast hours were over, but didn't care. I told her I was sorry, and D, who had worked there 20 years and was rude, just flat out said no. The woman said that's what she wanted, and she wasn't moving until she got an omelet. I'll never forget. She also said, "I know I'm irritating and I don't care. I want what I want." This situation had happened before, and we were told to apologize and decline as we couldn't slow down lunch, as the lunch menus automatically cut on at 11 and there was a rush. I declined again as D ignored her and continued to clean when Esther, the salty manager who hated me, I wrote about her in an earlier post, walked in. Anything involving me, she would do the opposite of what I wanted, so she made us make this woman an omelet, though D said multiple times it was against the rules. D was beyond furious, and the woman was so smug. We had to pull everything back out. D had to re-clean the grill, and lunch was late. The line got long, and we were behind. D complained to higher management, and they listened as he was a veteran worker. Esther was told not to do that again. What an infuriating memory. See, this is the exact kind of thing I don't understand about some managers. Somebody shows up asking for something so unreasonable that you're not supposed to do, ever, and you really don't ever do, but yet the manager just goes, you know what, screw it, just do it for them anyways. I mean, I get that it might be the path of least resistance, but you screwed up the whole lunch shift for everybody now. And I imagine at a place like a magical rat planet resort, you don't really want to be doing that. You want to keep that reputation up. Opal Violet commented, "This is why I really don't believe about the saying, the customer is always right. Some of them forgot that the crew are also humans working just to earn a living." OP replied, "People like her just don't care, honestly. She wanted what she wanted despite the inconvenience to us or other guests that had to wait longer for their lunch." But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. Now, if you want to hear another story about some crazy entitled people, check out that video on the left. Or if you missed my latest video, check out that video on the right. That said, I'll see you all next time with some more stories.